please. And we don't expect you to get out of line for the food, but if you would, we do have a camera here, so avoid any kind of walking in front of the camera other than the Hall of Fame people coming up and accepting your Hall of Fame thing. Also, cut off your cell phones. And I think only drug dealers have beepers now, so, or pagers. Or pharmacists, or whatever. But we're getting ready to get started, but we do ask you to, give your Hall of Fame inductees tonight the respect without the conversations as we get started with Charlie Brown here in just a minute. If not, we'll be here all night. We got the Sand Band coming up a little bit later. We got some special guests coming up with them a little bit later as well. And we do have a little video lighting here so we can see the people as we videotape them. So we're doing, like I said, a little test right now. But we appreciate you coming here. I think this is the biggest wine and cheese party. And just with the Castaways here, it gives us the biggest crowd. So anyway, we're about ready. I'll be here all night. Thank you. Thank you. What time is it?
Party time.
Coastline Band's tomorrow night. All right, drum roll. You'll never make it as a drummer. You can tell he's white, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 2014 Hall of Fame induction ceremony. Here's your host, if we could, please, like I said, keep the conversations, and welcome your host, Charlie Brown.
Hello, hello. I think what I want to say, what is it that Matthew McConaughey says when he... All right, all right, all right. Thank you, ladies. You notice it was only ladies that answered that question. Before we get started with the Hall of Fame inductions, I want to recognize the members of the Carolina Beach Music Association Board of Advisory. Now, if you want to go look up a dictionary and try to figure out what that means we tell Peter what we think and he does what he wants to do anyway. That's the definition. Get a little drum roll for that, Peter. I want to get everybody, so I'm going to try to do it as I see people. Over here in the back corner there, Butch Halpin. Butch, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame, was it last year? He's Stan the man, right here, Stan Ashley on the Board of Advisory. Next to, she is his Board of Advisory. Jan the woman. Thank you, Jan. Where's Chad the man? Where's Chad April? They have a Facebook page or email address. It's Chad April. They're just connected. It's like I have an email address, Ed Sue. Because we're just connected. Excuse me? Rocket Mail. Rocket Mail, yeah. You got my email, Julian. That's good. Where's Judy Walters? Judy Walters today was responsible for the big shag contest we had. Biggest crowd we've had for that shag contest. Judy, thank you very much. Sometimes if somebody takes a flash camera, you get green dots in your eyes. Well, that's what happened to Andy Smith, and that's how he named his company, Green Dot Music. Andy is a member. Stan is also an executive. Is that what you all are, executives with Green Dot Music? Let's see. Neil Soul Dog Fur, where be thou? Thank you, Terry. Sound effects tonight will be provided by Terry Gore Lemons. Thank you very much, Terry. Soul Dog, where you be? Well, Soul Dog, it will be somewhere that's none of my business, so I'm not going to ask again. Have I missed anybody who is here? Is Donnie here? Donnie, are you here? Donnie? Stand up, Donnie.
He is standing up.
You're supposed to do sound effects, not jokes. It's working tonight. Well, I was trying to recognize the Board of Advisory members who are here. There are several others that aren't here. If you want to know who the members of the Board of Advisory are, so you can send your complimentary letters, they're in here. If you want to send nasty letters, don't get a program, please. The Hall of Fame, all of the long version of what you're going to hear tonight about the inductees into the Hall of Fame is in your Carolina Beach Music Awards programs, which will be distributed Sunday afternoon at the show. We've got several pages in here, and the Castaways have, I think almost every member is listed in here. And also for the Sensational Epics, several of their members, or all of their members are listed in here. So please understand that tonight what I'm going to be doing is an edited version. I don't want you to think that this is like the, you got the book and then the TV version and then the mini-series. This is the mini series. Let me remind you one more time while we have moved this to Friday night. When we were doing it Saturday for the last 2 years at the Spanish Galleon, that is kind of a party room and a lot of drinking and stuff going on. Tonight you're drinking wine, whatever you're drinking. But we wanted to have an event that was only for the inductees. Not giving away any awards tonight. We're just rewarding the people who are being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Curtis said it before, Peter said it, and I'm going to say it one more time. Just going to ask you to please show your respect. If you want to talk while I'm doing this stuff, that's fine. When they come up here to accept their awards, please give them the courtesy of your attention. I really appreciate that, and I hope you understand we're not trying to be hard to get along with. We just think these people deserve respect from all of us that are here tonight. All right, thank you. Let's start with the biggest. I don't know about the longest, but this group has got so many members over the years. Tonight we are recognizing, I don't want you to think we don't know anything about Generation 6 and current generation and all that. We are recognizing in the Hall of Fame the Castaways, generations 1 through 5. Tell you a little bit about the group. Generation 1 will be the group that will be coming up here, and then we'll kind of ask the other generations to stand up and wave your hand or blow a whistle or do whatever you're going to do. Okay? So let me start with my script here. I need longer arms or bigger print. Somebody was asking me today, 1961 was when the Castaways got started. I didn't remember it was 2011 and 2012 when you all had your big reunion, which was a major event for the Castaways. They started in Durham, North Carolina. 2 northern high school students got together and started playing music that anybody could dance to and everybody was listening to on WKIX Channel 85 and rock. Some of the very first jobs that the Castaways had were in local clubs in Durham and Chapel Hill, because that's where they lived. And then they began performing at UNC and at Duke. That's T-O-O-K, Duke. And I'm sorry, guys. That's why I went to school. It's just the way it goes. We're not smart over in Chapel Hill. You all figured that out. The band played a lot of weekend gigs from Atlantic Beach to Myrtle Beach. The band was also playing many weekends at the Castaways Club in Greensboro. Has anybody ever asked the question, which came first, the chicken or the egg? Which came first, the Castaways Club or the name The Castaways?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
The band was first, right? The club was named after the band. That's what I thought. Okay. Highlight for the Castaways was playing for the Myrtle Beach Sun Fun Festival. The stage was set up in the Ocean Drive Beach. And the band also remembers the first time they were on television, on WTVD in Durham, and during the morning show, and listen to this, many of the students skipped class that day, or went there late, so they could watch their friends on WTVD. Now, was that Peggy Mann? Do you remember, was that Peggy Mann that did the show at that time in the morning?
Peggy Mann. What other name of it?
That's Clyde Mooney and Homer Barhopper was Another World. I don't think that was in the morning. Clyde was up too late at night. Things were going great for the band. They played North and South Carolina. They bought a black Cadillac, not a pink Cadillac, a black Cadillac hearse. That's interesting, guys. To carry all their equipment. And they had the logo, Best in Live Entertainment, on the hearse, painted on the side. Now, fast forward to today, 53 years later. Many multi-generational musicians have played with the Castaways. As I said earlier, the first 5 generations are being inducted into the Carolina Beach Music Hall of Fame. And to kind of tell you about all those individuals that are going to be inducted from Generation 1 and to recognize everyone, one of the founding members of the Castaways, please welcome Skeets Brady.
Thank you very much, and first of all, we appreciate all of you coming tonight, and we're very humbled and very blessed to have this happen, and I think every member of the Castaways will tell you that. And as Charlie said, it all started in 1961. I met Bill Carden, and Bill and I got together and started practicing a little bit, and before long we were playing a little bit of music. And we said, you know, this sounds pretty good. Well, Bill had been down to Florida on a vacation with his family, and he saw a place called the Castaways. And he said, you know, Skeets, that would make a great name, the Castaways. So that's how we came up with the name, the Castaways. Well, right after that, and I would like for these people to stand up. And this is Generation 1. Right after, first of all, Bill Carden, are you in here? Bill was one of the founding members. Bill is an incredible musician. And continue standing, Bill. And right after that, we needed a female singer, and there were not many girls singing at that time. And we got the fabulous, the undeniably best female singer that was around, Linda Griffith. And Linda's a Myrtle Beach girl now. And Linda, where are you? If you'll stand up, please. And Linda's way back there. Come on up here, Linda, so everybody can see. You know, Linda and I played together for about all those years, and I always thought her name was Linda Griffin. It's actually Linda Griffith. So, corrected. Linda, come on up here, girl. And Bill, if you'll come up here as well, from Generation 1. Right after that, Buford Rue was, he was an incredible piano player. Buford was from over in Pershing County, and we added Buford Rue on board. Is Buford here tonight? Buford, oh my gosh, I've not seen Buford in 35 years. Buford looks good, man. So Buford, you know, Buford won't mind me telling you that, but Buford had an accident where he got one of his fingers cut off. But I never knew it, but he could play the fool out of that piano with one finger gone. And nobody ever knew it, but I mean, this guy's a great piano player. Later we added several other musicians, and Ron Strickland came along. And Ron, if you'll come back here, Ron was a big bass man for us. Ron was going to school down at Atlantic Christian College down in Wilson. And Ron would zoom in on his Thunderbird always about 5 minutes before showtime for all the jobs we did. He was kind of Mr. Cool. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ron Strickland. Then we needed some horns. So we found this sax player over in Roxborough, and his name was Mark Wren. And if you've read anything about from the Hey Babies, you'll know that Mark Wren continued with an incredible musical career. And Mark wound up playing with us. He wound up playing with the Swinging Medallions and doing Double Shot of My Baby's Love. He played with the Pieces of Eight and Calabash. Great musician. Let's bring up Mark Wren. And he's still playing today, actually, up in Greensboro. A little bit later on, we added Mace Nutter, who wound up playing and starring in numerous movies with Burt Reynolds. And if you go to the Mace Nutter website, you can read all about our brother Mace. He's out in Hollywood, and he couldn't make it tonight. Another great drummer that started with us, and he is deceased, and so we want to recognize Sonny Goss. Sonny was the drummer, great friend, and he's gone to be with the Lord. There were other great people that sang with us. Archie Durham, if Archie Durham will come up. Archie was one of our early singers. Ben Stansfield, and many others that were in that first group. If there are any others performers that were in Generation 1, if you would please come up here, because I may not remember all the names. Thank you. This is Generation 1 of the Castaways, 1961. And now, moving right along, we would like to, all the members of Generation 2, if Generation 2 will come up here, please. And I'm not going to call all their names, but this is Generation 2 of the Castaways. You know who you are. If you'll come on up here and all right, looking real good. Good to see you. Come on up. Give them a warm round of applause. Generation 2. And actually, while they're coming up, Ken Haywood had called me and said, Ken and I knew each other in Durham, and I was getting ready to go in the military, and Ken called and said, Skeets, can we continue the name? He and Jetty Cash were playing, and I said, absolutely, I would be honored if you did that. So Ken Haywood, if you'll come on up here. Ken is a great guitarist, still plays today. Generation number 2. If Generation number 3 is in the house, if you'll come up, please. Generation number 3, Stan Swinson. Many of these people played in 2 and 3, and some of them played in 4 and 5. I mean, you know, they just hung on. So Stan Swinson was one of the singers in Generation 3. Generation 4, if you're in the house, please come up. You know who you are. And let's give them a warm round of applause and a shout out to Generation 4. There's Tony Wynn. Tony, come on up here. Oh my gosh, I didn't get it. These guys carried it on for many, many years. Great musicians, incredible musicians. And so let's look now and bring up Generation 5. All right, give them a warm round of applause. Robbie Wilson. We've got a lot of great musicians here in Generation 5. And Guy Brooks, if all of you around Myrtle Beach know Guy Brooks, he's still playing today. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the group that will be inducted that's here tonight, and this is group 1 through 5. But before we go further, I would just like to also thank the current band today. I mean, they have carried on the music, and they are awesome, and we love them. So thank you. Generation 6. Karen Clayton, and Guy, and John, and Jason, and Jeff. We love you all. And Randy, man, you guys are awesome. So thank you for carrying on the name. So this is the group. Thank you so much. God bless you. We love you. Charlie Brown, wherever you are, you're on the air.
Guys and ladies from the band, if you could all kind of get over to this side so that the photographers can get a memento picture of all of you all. We're going to try to get that. And for those of you who have had problems not talking to your friends at the table, that'd be a great time to do that. We're now in a brief talk time. Photographers run the world, in case you didn't know.
Make sure you can be seen.
I'm going to need I've got your boats back. This way, right here.
Go!
Julian B. Fowler. Many of the Castaways CDs are available on KHP Music CDs, and Guy Brooks has some of them for you if you want to get some, relive some memories. Guy Brooks has them. And Pat Christie will be doing a couple of songs from that he did with the Castaways tomorrow on the Chad Sane Industry Awards show for the Carolina Dance Music Awards. All right, guys. Talk time, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. The Sensational Epics are next on the list. Curtis Carpenter wants everybody to give the Castaways one more round of applause. One last hug. What I think is incredible is how many of them are here tonight. I think that's wonderful that they all came back. Speaking of incredible things, and we'll tell you another incredible thing in a moment about the Sensational Epics from South Carolina. They were formed as a The Sensational Epics were formed as a 5-person group. They evolved into a 9-piece band, and not just a band, but a show band and a party band. And this is the part that I love. They had 5 horns, 5 horn players in their band. They toured the Southeast for 6 years, playing soul and rhythm and blues, and what would eventually become known as beach music. During the 60s, the Epics recorded a bunch of songs, including, they were the first to record, Be Young, Be Foolish, Be Happy, the original version written in the studio by Ray Whitley. Now, I mean, I've retired several times in my career, but these guys took a 30-year sabbatical. They took off from 1970 until 2001. Which is actually 31 years, unless one was in December and one was in January, and it's too much math for me. In 2001, the Sensational Epics were approached by Palmetto Palace Emergency Children's Shelter to play a reunion concert. And they had so much fun, and the audience had so much fun, that these guys figured they still had it. And today, 14 years later, they are still playing strong. And here comes the good part. The Epics were formed with 9 to 12 members, depending on how much money the person that books them has to pay and how big the venue is. But listen to this. 7, count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You'll find out who they are in just a moment. 7 of the original members are still actively playing, and there are always 4 to 7 horn players on the stage. They play in the Carolinas, they make great music, and one of the original members of the group has been given the honor to tell you about the rest of them. Please welcome to the podium, Buster Elrod.
Wow, we only have one generation. You guys have so many, it's like, there they are. It's kind of like Star Wars 1, 2. Anyhow, as you know, as the Epics evolved, we started out as a 5-piece group. The 5-piece group was more of a Beatles type group, and then we decided, gee, we should add some horns, and we did, and we started playing the college circuits, and we had played, you know, just everywhere from Virginia Beach all the way down to Daytona, Panama City, the places. And for us, it's been a great ride. I mean, we had the first part in looking around 1970. Music went heavy. We had Cream, Vanilla Fudge, and horns went away. And so we kind of went our different paths. But what I'd like to do right now while I keep talking is, all of the guys that are here tonight, would y'all please come up? I'm not going to name you individually right now, but if all of you would please come up. We got back together in 2001 for an abused children's shelter. We felt blessed that they asked us, and we realized that, you know, like Charlie said, we really realized how much we had. And the more we played, the more we enjoyed it. And 14 years later, which is 2.5 times what we did the first time, we're still going strong. We love it. We have a great time. We thank everybody who's been around. We thank the places that we've been able to play. You know, we do a number of charity events every year. We support the Cancer Society because we've lost 2 members to cancer from our original group. Of those, the reason we only have 7 of the original 9 is 2 of them are no longer with us. And so, from that standpoint, excuse me, hey, we're just proud to be honored. When I got the info from Peter, I talked to him and I said, wow, we persevered long enough, you had to give it to us. It was one of those things. And you know, it's a blessing, it's an honor, and we thank everybody here. And we've got, yeah, and we've actually, from the group, because we had people that had to go in the military, and we had people fill in, but we've got 4 people that are no longer with us that played with us substantially. 2 of the originals, one was Billy DeLoach, Jimmy Anderson, and then we had 2 others that were integral parts of our world, and that was Ken Campbell and Jimmy Brazell. And this is for them.
Yes.
And right now I'd like to say we have Jimmy Davis, guitar, Barry sax, Jim Chappell, drums and vocal, Jim Lee, trumpet, Mike Tronco, who is our lead singer and the best singer we have ever heard, Rick Richardson, who plays sax, and Tommy Gray, who's our current drummer, and was our drummer in the original. And if you go back and look in, where's Larry? Oh, there's Larry. Sax, flute, everything you can look at. Larry was bright lights. I'm sorry, my fault. But, you know, the big thing is, thank everybody. Thanks CBMA. This is a great honor. And thank y'all for being here.
I want to take this opportunity to thank Buster. He literally keeps this band together. He is responsible for all of our bookings. He's responsible for all the originating everything that we do. And I want to give a round of applause for Buster Elliott.
Thank you. And Charlie, you're back up, I think.
One more time for the Sensational Epics. This will be a 30-second talk time.
He said in the room.